From the far reaches of the Milky Way galaxy, it's Retro Nerd Girl with a film review for you. Today, I'll be reviewing the movie The 13th Floor, released in 1999. Starring Craig Bierko, Vincent D'Onofrio, and Gretchen Mol. Directed by Joseph Rusnak. The genre is mystery, sci-fi, thriller. The rating is R for violence and language. The budget was $16 million estimated. My rating is a 9.2. The synopsis for this movie is that in 2024, Hannon Fuller is an inventor of a virtual reality system and is mysteriously killed. His best friend and protege, Douglas Hall, tries to run the company in his absence, solve his murder, and clear his own name for the killing. The only way he can get clues is within the virtual reality system that Hannon was visiting before his death. The VR world is set in the time of the 1930s, the era of Hannon's youth. Each VR user has an avatar counterpart to download their consciousness to. So, in the VR world, Douglas takes the identity of his avatar, John Ferguson, a bank teller. In the VR world, Douglas also sees avatars for Hannon and his co-worker, Jason Whitley. Enjoyment. Initially, the 13th Floor received negative reviews. Many people said that they didn't like the script and it was too confusing. Yet, they were very impressed by the visuals. This is truly one of my favorite movies that very few people even know about. It came out the same year as The Matrix and other similarly themed movies like Estezens, and it was released a year after the movie Dark City. It is clear that this movie doesn't copy from those films, but is dealing with the same topic of virtual or alternative realities, a popular topic of conversation at the time, just as game developers were beginning to design more realistic game worlds. When this film came out in theaters, I didn't see it because of the trailer. It looked like it was going to be really scary and one of those kill-em-up slasher films. That's not this movie at all. I actually was watching it on TV one night and I didn't know what movie it was, and I was looking at it. It actually just blew my mind, and ever since then I've been raving lunatic trying to get people to see this unbelievably underrated film. The pacing. At an hour and 40 minutes, it's actually great for me. Even times when it seemed slow, something about the film still engaged me. It's nearly perfect pacing, which is very difficult with me because I have such a short attention span, to be completely honest. The story, it's incredible. I love the surprises in this film, and it gave me plenty. You could say this movie is actually kind of like a remake of a German film called World on a Wire, released in 1973. And that movie was adapted from a book called Simulacron 3, or A Counterfeit World, released in 1963. I can say after watching the film World on a Wire, there are almost exact scenes and quotes in both The Matrix and in The 13th Floor, which is really cool to actually discover this. The reference to The 13th Floor is that the corporation that runs the virtual reality program is on the 13th floor of an office building. This is very odd because many high-rises, hotels, and various other buildings skip the number 13 and go straight to 14 when numbering floors because of the general dislike or superstition regarding the number 13, which many of us still culturally hold today. The appearance of the 13th floor is a tip-off to the audience that something is very wrong in the story. The challenge in this movie is actually solving the crime of Hannon's murder, and it is well hidden and well developed. Within the virtual reality world, Douglas meets a very dangerous challenge. in Jerry Aston, who begins as a smarmy bartender with shifty eyes to one of the nastiest, spiteful, threatening villains you can imagine. His psychological state is pressed to the limit, as he is the only one who actually harbors Hannon's dark secret, and at times you really feel sorry for this tortured soul. What a delicious character. Empathy. Douglas Hall is likable. He's a pretty average guy that is trying to work out this mystery. His character is pretty simple. If he solves this conundrum, he'll actually solve yours. So I kind of felt as if I was actually on the journey with him as I was watching the film. Oftentimes, he doesn't know who to trust, and we as the audience don't know who to trust either. I just love that aspect of this film. Technically, it was very good. Douglas Hall's house is a Frank Lloyd Wright building called Innes House, which has been used as the apartment for Detective Deckard in Blade Runner, released in 1982. The cinematography is breathtaking. The vision of the future world was gorgeously done in CGI. There are many dated special effects, but somehow even they convey a point in the film. There is also a great amount of detail to the VR world of the 1930s that was quite incredible. This is very impressive stuff. The budget was $16 million. So as a comparison, a movie like Fight Club, which was released in 1999, spent $63 million. On its budget, this film did very well. The performances were stellar by most. Vincent D'Onofrio was amazing at the two roles that he had to play that were completely different from one another. What an incredible performer. He's amazing. Craig Bierko, I had never seen him in a movie before, and since then I haven't seen him in a lead role. However, he was really good at playing his characters. I was with him the whole time. I really fell into the world of his characters. The best thing about this film is definitely the story. It was well written in my opinion, and I can't praise that enough. My wish list. There really wasn't any gory violence in the film, but there was violence nevertheless. One or two senseless murders that I'm just not down with. However, being that the story is well written and it's very good, it's still good. I always wish for less of that kind of violence. Senseless murder. I wish the marketing for this film was different. As I said before, the trailer was very unlikable. I didn't like the trailer. I didn't want to watch the film because of the trailer. And the poster for the film gives away too much of the film. It doesn't give away everything, but once you see the film, you kind of wish that it would have been a little more imaginatively discreet about what was happening in the film, so it could really surprise the viewer. I mean, and you are surprised. There's lots of twists in this film. The ending. The only thing I could say about the ending is that it's surprisingly breathtaking and just gorgeous. For 1999, where special effects have, come, this movie used the tools of its day very well. They don't seem dated at all, and they are appropriately used. In summary, first of all, I have to say that the concept for this film is just brilliant. I love anything to do with virtual reality. I haven't watched a virtual reality based film that I didn't like. I'll be honest with you. I have seen many, and I just like them all because I'm very fascinated with that concept. This movie is sci-fi noir at its most creepiest level, and it's very exciting. I do like the events that transpire in this film and how it's presented. It was just well done. And you'd think that with this movie being so much like The Matrix concerning virtual worlds, it never feels like The Matrix because it's not an action movie at all. It's more cerebral, beautiful, and mysterious. It's also more set in our time zone, in our time period, that we can actually kind of relate to what's happening in our world and not feel it's like some dystopian future or anything like that. It's just the future, but not the dystopian future. It's a believable future. And the story keeps really peeling open like an onion. It also questions moral deviance in the virtual reality world, where crime doesn't inflict actual pain on anyone or anything, so we believe. What happens when we strive to make virtual realities real and give characters in the world identities and personalities and synthetic consciousness? Well, that's a wonderful age-old topic for discussion one day. If you haven't seen this movie and you love psychological sci-fi, this is really a good movie to watch if you haven't already. I think it's really, really good. Well, that sums up my review. I hope you liked it, and please make sure to subscribe to this channel. I'll be posting many more reviews. And let's keep this discussion going. Leave your rating for the movie and why in the comments section. Take care, movie lovers, and off to my next review!